podcast. How you doing today, fans? I need y'all to subscribe. I need you to follow. My name is Gato, your regular host, owner of Trapcom, and also a member. Today on my show, I have, not only do I have a comedian, somebody you can talk to. I'm not really going to get too deep. I did it in the current show. But I have veteran of the game, 30 years?
Yeah.
30 years in the game. You can catch him on anything that your parents used to watch when it was just TV. Kenny Williams, y'all. I love you. Y'all understand. Y'all know I talk shit about the vets, but I haven't once. I shut up. I don't see shit. Kenny Williams, how you doing today, sir?
Doing good, brother. Doing good.
It's glad to have you up here today.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions I want to ask you if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
I know we don't really have to make eye contact as much as you want to. I was in prison. But what I'm saying is like, I already told him your name. But can you give him a short bio, like where you from and how did you get into comedy?
From Queens, New York. Where you from?
What part?
I'm Jamaica. But this is the funny thing. I was born in Flushing. So I'm a Queens cat, born in Flushing. Then as a youngster, moved to Jamaica, Rochelle Village, and all that, what have you. So I started, I didn't like just go into stand-up comedy, I was acting. And a friend of mine I was acting with introduced me to a club, it was Uptown Comedy Club. And from there,
is that a legend club for comedy or everything in there?
It's legendary, and it's crazy that it doesn't get enough recognition. That was the blueprint for Def Comedy Jam.
Okay. See.
So it's there was other clubs that, as far as like black, like you've seen the whole thing, the couple of shows that's on Netflix, but that was the blueprint where Russ came in and checked that out. Like there was another other room, but that was the blueprint for Def Comedy Jam.
So they was allowing all kind of all race comedians was there?
No, so like it was started out of exclusion.
Okay.
Because a lot of the mainstream comedy clubs, like the only time you really get to see a black comedian, and I'm putting the emphasis on black, and not to make this whole thing. The reason why, because at that time it was black, and then it just evolution to like people of color started coming in.
Now, Kenny, my fan base is a little different, young crowd, some people that's gang related, shit like that, GLGD. Can you break down what evolution means for them?
That it moved on. It went from this, and then it just it went into that.
I got you.
So Uptown Comedy Club was once again was started out of exclusion. Like the mainstream comedy clubs, the bigger names weren't really putting up black comedians. They were, but not at prime time.
Gotcha.
So you would see someone, the black comedians at midnight and after hours.
Can I ask a question? So we talking comedy clubs. Was Manhattan Proper relevant yet or no?
No.
Hell no?
No. It was, Manhattan Proper didn't come into later in the 90s.
All right, we get into that later on the question, because you're a vet for that
now.
Somebody told me you was on Def Jam. Was that true?
No. So, and I always clear this up because, they say comedy's about truth and pain. I taped Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. Talk to the producers. It was like, so the Def Jam help your career.
But it's good because,
Did the taping allow you to meet anybody that was watching?
No. So this is what's so funny. It taped, but it never aired. Why I say this? Because it's a learning lesson for cats that come up. Right? A lot of cats have taped or been in movies and it ended up on the editing floor.
Gotcha.
Right? And
chop
doesn't take the chop block. Doesn't mean that you're not whatever. That's just how it ended up. So I taped it, and there's a story behind that, but we don't have a whole 3-hour show. From there, I did Uptown Comedy Club, Apollo Comedy, Showtime at the Apollo.
With my fault for coming. With 30 years in the game, do you remember your first joke? No,
but I remember the joke I bombed with. Like
the level.
Yeah. I don't know. What's so funny? You can the good times you can remember, but you remember those.
The bad times come quick. Like, oh shit, I got shit again. It's here, not tonight.
And it's so funny. It was so bad. I look at it now. If I could do it now, I'll probably be able because I got more skills.
I understand what you're saying. You would deliver it different.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope shit that when you bomb and you cool to talk. Is nothing wrong bombing in the game? Yo,
you gotta. But that's life. That's success. If you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
In order to succeed, you have to fail.
I'm from one of the new guys, and a lot of people always be like, when I first came in the game, it was cool to say, yo, I ain't got no booze, right?
Anyone that says that, man, then you ain't really doing it.
Got you.
You know what I mean? There's no way that you can just jump into anything and just cruise this, and you know, especially with this art.
That's why I do comedy instead of boxing, because I ain't taking no loss.
This is so funny, even with how comedy is described as so punchlines and bombs and I killed, that it's really like I'd rather do this than take it in the chin. You know what I mean?
What happened to just saying I had a good night? Everybody kills.
Just is because it doesn't describe, it doesn't really get that feeling when you're up there and everyone is clapping and that standing ovation and people are like, it's the best description.
You ain't lying. I bombed that salsa. Like, I swear, I can remember that shit like it was yesterday, 2 months ago. And the crazy thing is, I'm just so, you see me somewhere, like, I just like to be around it, it's an audience, let's go. And I want people to hear this shit, because I talk for what you scared to say, or you better not say if you're married, you know what I'm saying? So I speak on it. I got a nice ovation, they clap for me. I went and talked to the wrong crowd, talking shit to the correction officers. And it's like they wanted me to go back to my old life. You know what I mean? Like I told them, you'll never see me again. They talked enough, they booed me enough to go back to hustling, I swear to God.
See, salsa is a different type of dynamic.
It is.
Like, you come here to, in some places are more set up, conducive for comedy. When you walk in there, and nothing to take away from salsa, it's challenging. Because it's so big of a arena, and it starts to lose that intimacy that comedy is built for. You get all this, there's too many moving parts. Yeah.
I'm glad I got you. I got questions for you, but I get to pick your brain on things of that nature. Is the difference between bar comedy and theater comedy?
Yeah.
And I've seen people that go to do bar comedy, and you may not hit because it's like poltergeist. You got children in your neck every fucking way to talk to everybody. But theater comedy, you could get the same audience, and they sitting there because they facing to look at you.
But if you look at comedy clubs never had a bar inside the showroom.
You're right, and they tell you 2 drinks, you know what to get already.
Yeah, but it's not is outside of even the 2 drinks. But that's another dynamics of why comedy clubs operate. You know, that 2 drink thing. Comedy clubs were originally built for tourists. Before Def Comedy Jam, this is the funny thing, it was really for tourists. It wasn't for the residents. Residents wasn't going to mainstream comedy clubs.
That makes sense.
So then when with the dynamics of what uptown comedy clubs and like the Manhattan Propers, that's when people from the neighborhoods were actually going to live stand-up comedy.
And also believing they could be a comic.
Oh yeah, that's another
it's open
that's another thing. We made it look so easy that everyone.
I swear to you do. You guys make it look so easy that promoters think they can tell jokes.
Oh, we'll get that's a different dynamic altogether.
Oh, you gotta do it this way. You gotta write a set. You go up there and tell one day, write your set.
Up here like this, you know, I'm gonna host the show and I'm gonna take money for the hosting. But you know,
we'll talk about that. Come to my show. They won't edit when we talk about my show. If you could go back, let's say 20 years, is there anything you would have done different?
I would have spent a lot of time, and I remember listening to this. This is the beauty about like these podcasts. Steve Harvey was saying that until you are able to separate show business, like there's the show and there's the business.
Okay.
I would have spent some time on business. Like I mastered the show.
That's what you're saying.
I mastered the show. I did everything as far as the show to beat this beast. But the business that's, you know.
Because if you don't mind me saying, you can tell me shut up because you know I'm younger than you. But you came up where it was wrong to ask a question, I would say. I came up now, I'm the guy that asked the question. Like when I first started, you know, I used to tell them like I'm the new Curtis Jackson and this shit. But I'm gonna ask, you're not gonna tell me just go in that room and wait. No, you come with me in this room, we gonna wait together. And what's in that room? Who waited in this room before me? They say you ask so many questions, but I wanna know.
It depends on who you speaking to.
You said I'm not supposed to ask Kevin Hart a question.
No, but this is the funny thing. It's the timing. I know this from being a cat in this, where a lot of young cats, it's the timing. If I'm on the show, and I got to do the show, I can't sit here and run a class with you. You know what I mean? So after the show, we could throw some drinks back. Some cats love to give you the game.
I got you.
But a lot of times these young cats go, you sitting there trying to study, you probably next and go like this.
Oh, yeah,
so when you do this, then you know like this, little nigga, right?
And you know how to talk. I'm not saying you, but you know how to, like, how to talk to you after. You do that. I real shit, and that's good shit. It been over like, I ain't gonna say no names because we got to know them personally, but they'll lie to them for what we're doing. Yo, that was a good set. Oh, keep doing this, keep doing that. Just tell them talk to you later. You're right. I try not to bother nobody. I got headphones.
Yeah, I tell a lot of cats like this. This right here is your moment, and I want you to say like because I'm doing like just give it a minute, and then we'll talk later. Because you got to study what's happening, what's going on before you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of cats look and they think like, oh man, Kenny, he's just all right. Like I got that same nervous energy also, especially if the cat is ripping in front of me, and I got to close out this show, so I gotta get in my own head.
And if he do some dumb shit where he leaves the room for you to be like, because it's not that you don't want to talk about it, but he did some dumb shit where it's on the table. It's comedy. Remember we did the weekend retreat? Oh man, a lot of y'all don't understand. I was still new in the game. I was just talking shit all the way out. We went on a weekend retreat. Hey, we didn't do nothing wrong. We did comedy. And that guy bothered me. I wanted to just do my set. Because when I first met you, Ken Williams, and they knew you was from Queens, I had no problem Googling and watching your comic views joint and say, yo, he's a roast master. Like between you and Tom, I would hate to see y'all go against each other. You know what I mean? But I told that guy ass apart, didn't I? With that jailhouse long john shit.
But you know, yes, that was hilarious. I think we all did. I think you wound up being the domino effect because we all got on. This is the whole thing. It's that sometimes you're going to get off script. You want to master your set, but you're going to get off script because you're dealing with a lot of situations.
Gotcha.
So it's been plenty of times. It's been plenty of times as far as like there's hecklers and then there's guys just
miserable. It's miserable. Don't want to laugh.
Yeah.
They're too tough for comedy. They don't even know why they came. The girl go.
Yeah.
You ain't saying nothing wrong. Oh yeah, good shit for that thing you did the other night. Boy, you killed him. I don't want to say that because you might want to do it again for somebody else, but you know, that was a nice set. I swear.
Oh, thank you. And you see how what happened? I was going in
open that door
to go straight in my set, and then the DJ wanted to do a callback of what was the hot topic, and then I didn't even know that was the owner, that was the loudest person in the room. That's why I told him to have that conversation on Francis Lewis.
But they think they could just because they know each other, they could talk shit.
Yeah.
Shh, you gotta shh too. It's a question I want to ask you. More Geraldo-ish. Just don't hit me, please. About marriage. You're married?
Yes.
First marriage or second marriage?
This is second.
Does that come with the structure of comedy? Like, did you find your career to the point where you had to get to a second marriage, or that's not personal shut the fuck up about though?
No, and this is the funny thing. In my comedy, and this is like a maturity, like what have you, I never mentioned my first marriage. Right. And that had a lot to do with my relationship with my wife. I never wanted to put a number, you know what I mean? So it's just funny with life. That had nothing to do with first, like with comedy, is that, you know, you find a different space in life and then you go, you know, that didn't work. And here I am, and it's been, I'm going on 16 years of
marriage. And you knew each other before the marriage, so that's more than 16 years.
No. This is the funny thing. Like it was no long courtship because by the time me and her got together, I think that's what made the difference in the first marriage. And as far as like with her is that, you know, I was in my late 30s when I first got married. I was like and I was just starting my comedy. I was like in my 20s.
I got you.
So when you're in your late 30s, you know, as you know, for me as a man, you know. So I don't have to sit here and wait another 2 or 3 years to go, let me see.
You old times get right to it. Like, that's that old comic shit. Red Fox had 8 wives. I told my baby mom, I'll get back to her on the 3rd one, that mean I made it. But I don't know. I don't know. If I gotta go to Vegas and try it once, fuck it. I mean.
But you know, I think what happens like with the Red Fox and these guys, once they get into this, you know, you get into like what he was, a lot of these, you partners or your spouse, this is a hell of a business. And so you're hardly home, or you're doing this and X, Y, and Z. Then you get this person, then, next thing you look up, you go, I'm on wife number 10.
Yeah, it's cool because you always want somebody to cuddle with. In my situation, you know me, I've been, I was on vacation. I can't sleep alone. I need company.
You shouldn't say that when you just mentioned I was on vacation.
I got it. I'm secure. I had the top bunk. They ain't find me. You know that? Yeah. Top bunk plays on PC. I'm famous. You seen that video? It did 1,000 views. What the heck? Kenny, I know we was talking family, but before we get off the wife part, right? How important is support both ways with this game? Not just comedy, because it's not just a comedy show with questions, but because I'm talking relationship, because you do 16 years, that means you're consistent. How big is support when you're in a relationship, both ways?
I think this is where people get it, and this is so funny. I said my wife is my worst fan, but she's my greatest supporter. She was a follower of mine. Like her friends gotta tell her, "Are you going to Kenny's show Friday? What show?" Gotcha. I'm like, I'm about to delete her.
Yeah, you just Kenny down.
Social media, but you have to realize that this is your dream. This is your vision. You can't sell her into buying it. So if she doesn't go, I don't this and that. It's not about that, and it's about a compromise. It's like a business. It's like merging businesses. You know what I mean? So she might be running this business and you're running this business. You're merging the business so it can exist together.
I got you.
So, but as far as like, I say it's like you're creating the circle. So you have this person that understands that what you do. So that support, yeah, is very important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think this is why cats be on their 8th marriage. Like they want to come home to someone that gets it and that's going to be behind.
Not somebody that complains like, then you coming in every night at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, man. Once they...
Yeah, that complaint shit.
Yeah,
I can't tell a good joke or a complaint.
Yeah, once you...
I'm 42, I'm 27.
But those things are going to happen. Like, you're going to be at a spot, you're going to be hanging out with your cats. A couple of you went one drink too far, and you're gonna miss that time, and she's gonna get home and go like this, yo, where was you? But after this is.
I cursed up and hanging out with y'all the other night. She told my dad he won't hang out with the old heads. My dad said, "What old heads you hang out with?" I said, "I went to the show, Kenny Williams in town. I damn near bombed at the competition. So I went to get regrouped. I went to reboot. I put it on Instagram while I was there. I rebooted. I said, what the fuck? The old heads, man.
So funny, a lot of cats, and this is when I hear old heads, I think of Philly, I think of.
But you come down there.
I know that, and this is so funny. But my point is, a lot of cats get like, yo, I don't like them call me uncle or old head, what have you. I'm like, that's a term of endearment, man. Like I did comedy in Rikers Island for like 15 years.
I'm talking about Rashid. I was sitting in there, I was like 15, 16.
Rashid or
Rashid, you know what I'm talking about,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, he was doing
They did that joke about having sex with a billy goat when he told his girl she gotta go bad when he come home.
What was that? That was not Rashid from
the guy that passed away.
Wow. Oh, okay.
42 now, so you remember that? I should be stealing everybody's shit.
Wow. But I tell cats, man, yo, that's a term of endearment. Man, like if a cat's like, yo, old head, OG, you know what I mean? But I said, I'd rather you call me OG than old nasty nigga, right? Like,
yo, that nigga there.
Yeah, look at this old nigga coming,
And you're not loud, right? It don't matter, that's your show. I handle my own business, right? I did a show for somebody. They see me in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. When they see me down there, it was an open room, a mic. They don't have that in New York. People too famous to do mics in New York. So it was an open mic down there. The guy booked me for his birthday roast. He didn't tell me it was him. He said, I want you for a birthday roast. It was him, which was in Jersey at the Dutch Club. I did the birthday roast. The other new guy talked about his H&M shit. 6 minutes of me meeting him. His mom was in tears. I said, I gotta get funnier. The owner said, hey, I want you to meet Bob. I'm like, Bob Summer. He called me and said,
oh, okay.
He said, hey, what's this kind of comedy shit that you live in Lancaster, PA? I said, don't worry about it. I'm from where Russell from. And he said, all right, everybody, I see you see my video. I don't want to see none of that. All right, cool. Come in person. Came in person, met him. Friend-wise, talking on the internet. But I said, all right, old head. He stopped following me. They said, yo, I don't know what you got going on. But I ain't with none of that old head name. My name is Bob and this and that. I said, yo, something wrong with you, man. I swear to God, man. Real shit. I had to tell this man, like security, I said, can you talk to Bob, bro? He bugging, like. And I understood where he come from. And I said, you know what? On that note, I'm gonna cool with Tina. And I just left it at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some people take it wrong, but that's a terminology.
But cats are having a hard time aging. You know,
Nip tuck niggas.
You know,
you're right. Niggas is nip tuck.
Yeah, and it's all right. And I get it. We color our beards and what have you, and that's for the film and the.
You not natural. Get the fuck out of here, kid. I thought you just had a blend. I thought I didn't get all the way through. My shit is Judge Wong. This was.
What I did, you know what I did? I dipped my Sharpie and I just blended it in. So listen, stay focused. Right. So that a lot of cats, that's an aging thing. You know what I mean? So a lot of cats are insecure, like from balding, getting older, what have you. And this is the funny thing about comedy is that you're supposed to expose that. Okay. That's what comedy is about.
You should never give me that permission tonight. You're supposed to expose it? Comedy is supposed to be exposed in a nice way.
Comedy is truth and pain, and it's about vulnerability. And until cats get to that, this is why they never level up.
Oh, gotcha. Now let me ask you this question, Kenny, because you got to remember this, you got to say it right, because if not, people are going to be mad 8 months later when they show this video. Do you have a team? Because I heard in order to make, no, the producers heard in order to make it, even the Kevin Hart and the rest have a strong team. Without hurting anyone's feelings, who do you feel is in your circle pushing you, helping you get to the top? I'm going to just say if you did a show with the top 5, your 5, who's your team on that note?
It's,
and to count the door person in too.
It's not a team. It's that, like, no man is an island. You can't do this by yourself. So, yes, I think it's very important who you surround yourself with. Right. I don't think you need to label it like team this and team that, what have you. So, my wife is part of my team. Gotcha. You know what I mean? It's like there's certain people that are around you that are, and it's, you can't even label it that. They're just.
Yeah, this is the last year question. It's been a COVID. Who's available right now? I swear to God. Who's available?
So who's healthy? It's about who you're serving. That's going to be a learning lesson for you because that's going to change throughout your journey. Those cats that you started out with, that you're going to have to make a decision that some people are not for the whole ride. Some people are just for this particular moment, a reason and a season. You know what I mean? Gotcha. So it's like, it's hard to say, oh, this, you know, I can drop the names. Like, it was, when I was coming back, they weren't in the very beginning, but when I came back, there was a Freddie Ritz, there was a talent, you know, that later on, fast forward, there was a Terry Hodges, you know what I mean?
Okay, tall black guy from Jersey. He be at Tina Grand Room, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then me and, we just connected, but it was just for a short period of time as far as Tracy Morgan. It was at one time I was hanging out with the Mike Epps and the Bill Burr. Yeah, they call you the Bell Atlantic of comedy. That's what my niggas call you because you got the connections. Yeah. You go to Atlanta, boy, I swear to God, you would never be stranded. You can be with your mom. We're not helping that old lady. I know Kenny Williams. Well, get in the car. Yeah. And that means a lot that you can throw your name out across and your name is good. Whereas like it ain't about stealing jokes. It's just that you're good energy and you can't change who you are, but like you gotta be, this is the other thing that's up there and it goes across anything, comedy, whatever. You gotta be able to work with others. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. I appreciate having you up here. Honestly, I want to say that. Can I give you 5? Mm-hmm. You dope as shit. Nah, you dope as shit because you don't wear no mask with your comedy. It's different comedies. I tell everybody, me, I'm real. That's why my friend, I don't even know if I have a friend list unless it's Facebook, but I have people that I consider family because I'm building as I go in the game. And you don't wear no mask, you don't wear no makeup, you don't got to put a costume on. You go on stage, you get the people you. I've seen you know, from Atlantic City when you was there, from the road trip to, and you give advice, you know what I mean? That scarf joke is crazy, I swear to God. Like, we put that on TV, woo, don't let go ahead. But you basically ended on a good note with the team part, the structure, the family, the security. Whatever I missed, do you mind, if I didn't miss anything, cool, can you just give your bio, where they can find, not give your bio, but can you give where they can find your Instagram, Facebook, or what events you got coming up?
So they can follow me, it's both on Twitter and IG, and it's Kenny Will Comedy, so KENNYWIL. I'm messing up.
Take your time.
You hit me up. WILL comedy. And also, so I got my anniversary coming up, and it's, I said 30, but it's actually 32. But the pandemic changed the number. I got 3 things on Tubi. So I got it's called Honor Among Thieves.
Oh, you in that?
Yeah, Honor Among Thieves, and then that was a challenge altogether.
I need to bring you back up here for a part 2.
Okay.
Honestly, because the way the time was tonight, and I really, whatever you can forget with the producers, because there's a lot more I want to get with you. This is not a 30, you're not a 30-minute guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know you got the movies, I know you got the guy that you be, what's the comedy guy? The cartoon with the guy you be with, the clown guy. I want to get into that.
Oh, Timothy.
I want to, I want to get into all that. So I want the fans to be too tied into this, and I want to go into part 2.
Okay.
So if you cool with that,
That's cool. That's cool. I'll spell it out, but we can, because that right there, Honor Among Thieves, was just totally wasn't a comedy. So like, I did something with Rob Stapleton, and because I did this thing with Rob Stapleton, the filmmaker, the director of that, got me on Honor Among Thieves, and I did a documentary called Hilarious and all that.
So that's a director, Rob, who directed that?
His name is Joseph Grant.
Okay, I follow.
Joseph Grant directed that. That was Rob Stapleton. It was called The Stuff.
And you in Money and Violence, you in some gangster shit too.
Yes, and that once again, that's a part 2, because I didn't know anything about Money and Violence. Like, that was one of the, I think that set the tone of web series.
Gotcha. No, I'll tell you what else, but I'm gonna let them tune in.
Okay, Money and Violence, yeah. You can check me on Money and Violence. Why? It was season 2, episode 1. It was picked up by Jay-Z's.
That's right. That's why the Money and Violence is a big issue right now. That's why I'm
yes.
telling.
Okay.
But hey,
okay.
This is Extra with the Shrimp podcast. This is Gato, Trap Comedy. You know how I feel on the side. What to Do Entertainment. Thank you for being one of the major people behind this. And thanks for Kenny Williams for taking the time out. And we're looking forward for part 2.
Yes, definitely, brother.
Peace, y'all.
I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will always get an alert when a new video drops.